Hello everyone, it's Kenyada and I'm back again to share my first salon experience. Now this is my first salon experience after I got my license. So my first salon experience was at JCPenney Salon. It was JCPenney Styling Studios then, and it was a place where I used to get my hair done. Way before I decided to go to hair school. This was, I want to say, was a multicultural salon, predominantly Caucasian. So we did a lot of highlights, cutting, hair colors. There were not much braiding going on. There were no extensions. There were relaxers. I chose JCPenney because they sold products for ethnic hair. And if they're offering relaxing services, they've got to know what they're doing with that. And it was, so as like I said, it was kind of diverse, but not so diverse all at the same time. I started off as a receptionist just before I graduated cosmetology school, and kind of just to get a feel of how busy the salon was. It's a very busy salon. It's open 7 days a week. It's in a mall, at least in my area. It's in a mall. Um, so they have like tiered stylists, a designer stylist, I want to say senior stylist and a master stylist. When I got there, because I always had like this vision in my mind of what I wanted to do, I said I knew I wouldn't be behind the chair forever, but I didn't know how long the process was going to take me. But I started off as a receptionist. Once I graduated, got my license, I moved to like a designer in training. I had a mentor, and she was a master stylist. It was a Hispanic woman, and she did um, all kinds of hair. Like I said, mostly hair cutting, colors, highlights, things like that. She did really good with blow drying. So I shadowed her for a few weeks, and then I started taking clients of my own. Um, there were maybe two African Americans. I was one of them, a couple Latinas, and the rest were white stylists. Um, so uh, I knew, from working like as a teenager, like the braids and different styles. I was the only one really with natural hair. The other woman, she had like a wave nouveau or some type of curl like that. So being there with natural hair, I had a lot of people question, like a lot of questions. People would question me about my hair. Um, and being in a predominantly white salon as a stylist, you're going to get clients that don't look like you, who do not have hair like you, which I was fine with that because going to Paul Mitchell, you learn predominantly how to work with straight hair. But them seeing me, they would have their reservation, whatever. But there were some who gladly sat in my chair, and because it was as a tiered stylist, my prices were a little bit lower than a senior or a master stylist. So depending on the budget and depending what they were comfortable with, they came to me. And I did relaxers there. Um, I kind of touched everything. I did men's cutting. I did men's cutting. I did highlights. I did color. I did cuts. I did balayage, ombre. And with that type of stuff, I would say JCPenney is a great place to start, um, to get a feel of everything. If you're looking to do a little bit of everything, depending on your location, they're a diverse type of place to be and to work as a stylist beginning. And you can definitely work your way up from there. There's paid training, you corporate training on new colors. I learned Matrix, Caracare, Mazzani. So it was impressive to see a salon where it was located in my state working with relaxers, and they knew the process. They taught you the right way on how to color, how to relax hair. And then there were color classes that we took, the different techniques, and I learned a lot. It was a great place to start, but I just knew I wasn't going to stay there. So I had some highs. I did have some, if they show you a bit. And I was a new stylist, so if someone comes in with a picture, and someone came in with a picture, said she wanted that, and I was like, yeah, I could see the technique that she used. I just didn't know if she had the hair to pull off that technique. So I had some roadblocks, where people weren't satisfied with their hair. But as a beginning stylist, sometimes you do take it to heart. But here I am now, and I'm looking back like I see the mistakes that I've made, and you have to start somewhere. There were no big major mistakes, and at the same time, I had some senior stylists who they would have someone who had maybe a textured type of hair and give them a style, and they would come back and not like it, and they hopped in my chair. They looked at me and they said, "Yeah, you'll be able to handle it." Looks can be deceiving, but in this case, it wasn't. I knew what I was doing when it comes to styling her hair. So my first salon experience was a good one. I was able to watch and learn and grow. I had people who would book with me. I was there for a total of a year and a half, um, and I'm grateful for the opportunity for my manager who decided to take me on. My time ended when for me, I know when my time is up at a place or in a season, there's just something down on the inside of me that's saying, it's time to go. And there were so many stylists, and it's like we were all like on a list, to be fair, on a walk-in list. So those who had their clients, they were booked for the day, but any walk-ins or someone who called said, I don't know who I want to, to do my hair, put me with someone, they would have to go in some type of order. So if I was just coming in and you have all these stylists ahead of me, sometimes I would not even have a client. So I think there were just too many people. I was there for the time that I needed to be there to learn what I needed to learn. Um, the dress code was all black. You could wear a little bit of white, but it was mainly black. Black and white, I think, yeah. Black and white. You could wear open toe shoes, yeah. Because it was corporate, you couldn't really get too, you couldn't do hats. Um, but it was pretty traditional type of salon when you think of a corporate salon. Lots of products. There were goals to meet. I had to meet my quota as far as the clients that I was taking in, the retail that I was selling. We would go out with like our coupons and say, there'll be a free haircut or free deep conditioning with a color service. It taught me how to hustle and to put myself out there to say, hey, I'm a new stylist. Would you like to, whatever, I had to come up with some way to get people in my chair. I had friends, I had family, I had walk-ins, repeat clients. And my manager thought I would have done really well there because I was a woman of color who knew how to do natural hair, who could braid, but they didn't have a menu set up for someone like me. So I did what I could. I did braiding there, like the two braids, or like a half a head. I'll share one other story. I had a woman who had locks. She was referred to me from another lady that I know. So I came in. I used whatever I could use on her hair because at a corporate salon, you cannot bring in your own products. At least not at JCPenney. You couldn't bring your own products. So I couldn't bring in lock it up or some type of twisting or cream because that's what I would use, or gel to retwist her locks because it wasn't allowed. So I used whatever they had. I think it was a carrot care, some type of texture cream to twist her hair. There were so many questions. I mean, this probably was the maybe first person they've ever seen to come in and get their hair retwisted, and they've been open for 30 years or more. First time someone came in to get their hair locked, and she was in my chair. One woman said, "Do you wash it?" Like, that's insulting. If you ask anybody if they wash their hair, I don't care what they look like. At least in America. Other countries, they may do things a little bit differently, but here to say, "Do you wash your hair?" I think it's an insult. She was very ignorant. She didn't know any better. But there were a lot of like peeking around the corner. "Oh, what are you doing? What are you doing?" It made me uncomfortable and the customer uncomfortable. And she told me she would never come back. As long as I was there, she would never come back. And I don't blame her. So while it was they were diverse in their services, and there was a mix of people. They weren't that diverse, and they just didn't know how to handle themselves, I guess, around people who had different hair. And that was something that you kind of just learn to kind of brush off, or just you address it, but what could you really do? So I knew my time there wasn't going to be forever. I didn't know exactly how long it was going to last. But I was there for a year and a half. I'm very grateful. I'm still friends with some of the ladies there. I'm still cool with them. Um, and I share the salon if I'm ever not available and someone needs to go there. I share my time. I share the salon with them. So that was my experience. My first salon as a licensed stylist. I'm grateful. I'm glad for what I've learned while I was there and the people I could have helped. So I'll talk to you guys soon.